Are you getting ready to go full-time and wondering what items you should bring for your RV kitchen, or you're just snooping around and want to see what's in mine? Either way works for me. In this video, I'll show you what's in my cupboards, how many of each item I brought for 2 people and why, and show you my favorite kitchen organization and storage items. It's hard to downsize and figure out what items you actually need in your RV. I'm going to go through my kitchen to give you some ideas. This is what works for my husband and myself. This is not the end-all be-all. So take ideas from this video and apply it to your family's needs. Also note, I don't like to cook, so if you like to get all fancy up in that kitchen, you are probably going to need a lot more kitchen gadgets than I have. Since I see this question all the time in Facebook groups, we're going to start with how many place settings we brought. And remember, there's 2 of us, so calculate that for your family. So in the drawer, we have 6 forks, 6 knives, and 8 spoons. And I think I brought 8 spoons more for if we have tacos or something, we want serving spoons. And most of the time we don't go through all of them, but sometimes we do. Okay, next we got the cups, bowls, and plates. Now we started off with 4 plastic cups and 4 bowls and 4 plastic plates, which are down below. And we had 1 glass plate, one of these. So that was fine. This was to defrost meat on, but then it was nice to actually cut a steak and not cut the plastic. So we went back to our storage unit and got another one. And then recently we went back and got a bowl each for us. This size bowl is nice for our banana splits. If you have soup, something nice. It's just like a nice bowl to have, and it's a large size. Then down here we have this plate holder. These are the little cheap plastic plates. So when we had steak, it wasn't nice cutting it on here. And then we have 1 coffee mug. And people freak out when I say I have 1 coffee mug. We don't drink coffee, so that makes sense. We just use it to heat water up. And then for my random favorite stuff I don't need but I wanted, love these trays. So I have 3 of them. 2 for me and 1 for Steve because I like both colors. We have the normal block of 6 steak knives, paring knife, bigger knife, scissors. This gets used all the time. Now, a lot of people think before you start off that you need to have all these extra plates and silverware and place settings for other people, just like you do at your home. If you are going to a campground potluck or you're having someone else from the campground over, it's expected that they will bring their own silverware and plates with them. But now if you have guests coming, like family or grandkids, you are going to need something for them. So that's why there's 2 of us and we have 4, so we have enough. We also have our paper plates, silverware, things that we can throw away. So we always have enough stuff if people come over. Now for the pantry tour. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I don't like the way this is organized, but this isn't a slide. And when we travel, everything comes in and the top half of this is the only thing we can reach. This gets cut off. So one day I gave in and I just organized it for travel day. And we do a lot of long hauls. Like we'll go across the country for work. So we might travel 8 days in a row and we're not bringing this slide out. So I want to make sure that I can access the things that we need and then we just wash dishes from the opposite side. Okay, I'm going to do an overview first and then I'll go through different things. Now you can see our pantry is very deep and these shelves right here Steve added. That was just one big open space, so it gave us more room. So he made these shelves by hand. If we get another RV that has these really deep pantries, we'll get slide-out shelves. Everything you see in this video will be in the description below. You're either going to see it in our Amazon store or I'll put a different link so you can know where to buy it. In our Amazon store, everything is organized by list, so you can go to RV Kitchen, see the things that we're talking about, and also look in the upper right-hand corner because we put comments about the items to give you more information about them. The first thing that we should have bought right away. See how dark that is? Now watch this. Ooh, look at that! You can see. So we didn't buy these right away, and we should have. They're just stick-up LED lights, and they come on when you open up the cupboard, and they're rechargeable. And that way you can actually see in the cupboard. It's like I have a luxury pantry now. Up on the top we have stuff that we don't use and I can't really reach, so that goes up there. And then this area has spices in the back, things that we really don't use all the time so I don't have to dig them out. And then this shelf has the majority of what we use. Now, I really like this bowl holder, so when we travel, it keeps everything in place. And behind that, we have these squares. And these things are absolutely great. I have them all over the kitchen, and I can put everything in it. So I call this the Icky Sticky Drippy. I can just reach back and grab any of these things, so that's convenient to have them back here. And then if you don't have something like that, I just reuse like a Jif to-go box and put other things in it. And our little kitties like to eat, so we put the cat food in here. And now down here, I have these little mats. And what I do on travel day, I put these in between the plates. I don't do it while we're sitting here because it'd be annoying to move every single day. That way, everything doesn't bounce around and rattle, and they're safe, and then I just stack them all back up. This is also something to think about if you're going to buy some mats so everything doesn't bounce around and rattle. I had black originally, and you can see it down here, and it's a lot darker. So when I got this gray, it makes everything pop a lot more, and you can see stuff with the lights. You can see the difference between the light and the gray here and the light and the black right here. So I am going to get some more gray and put right here. It'll be a lot better. We put more small items down here. We got like macaroni and cheese and noodles basically. Then we put some larger items up front. And this is another one of those amazing trays that fits in the fridges too. It's the same kind as the other cube. So I have 3 drawers down here. This one, I only put the things that we use daily or all the time because I didn't want it to be a hot mess. And I'll show you what's in this one. This is things that we use around the RV. And then the last one is gonna be pot holders, an apron, towels. So everything that's not in here that I need, but I don't use daily, I put in this bin. So this is kind of like the catch-all of everything else that I use, and I just brought one of each, you know, because I used to have a whole bunch of spatulas at home and different things. So this is the stuff that I need once in a while, and it all goes in here. So then up here we made a shelf, and that's where those trays go. We have our plates, and then I also have these little bins that hold different things that I need. And we have our tension bars for traveling where we put these out so that way things don't slide around. Honestly, with all these things that I have in here, we really never use the tension bars anymore and nothing really moves. And then at the bottom, I'm gonna bring this stuff out because you really can't see it, but we have our take-alongs for everything when we do meal prep. We have other containers that go into our little food cooker. We have our cutting board, which expands. I got some bigger containers, 1 large strainer, and 1 mixing bowl. And I have 1 pot this size with a lid, and I bought these on Amazon to fit different things. Now I said that I don't like to cook, so when I cook, I meal prep, and we will eat the same thing for 3 to 4 days in a row. So that's why I have all these take-alongs, and we do go through all these. And then this little food cooker we take to the job site, or we take it when we ride our side-by-side. And these containers fit in here, so we'll meal prep. I'll put the stuff in here, and that's why I have these ones. This video is part of a playlist. If you want even more RV storage solution organization and modification ideas, you'll want to check out that playlist next. And I'll link that below for you in the description as well. Now, time for the fridge. Come on over, Steve. We have an 18 cubic foot RV fridge, which means it can go off propane or electric. These cubes right here, if you have this fridge, this cube that I'm linking, fits perfect. That way you don't have all this stuff sitting on the shelf, and on travel day, you know, it's all gonna fall. Everything's in here. The only thing you have to get used to is when you want something, you gotta pull it out, pick it up, and get it. This thing that I put the eggs in up top works perfect on this shelf. You can also use these tension bars in your fridge, but you can see ours is really long, so these bins work a lot better than these bars. If you don't know this trick, you should. Take a little container, freeze some water, put a penny on the top. You'll know if your freezer ever stopped working because the penny will go down below, and that means your food's probably bad and you shouldn't eat it. And another tip is to put these little cutting mats on the back of the freezer and on the bottom shelves, but not in between because you need airflow. Then when you defrost the freezer, it helps take the frost off and it's a lot easier. One last tip, and this really depends on the layout of your RV. When we travel, again, the slide comes in, we can only access this side of the fridge, and then we can access both sides of the freezer. So when we travel, we put everything we use on this side, and everything that's not so common on the other side. So I just kind of switch those bins around and put the stuff on this side of the door. Now to the sink and countertop. This is what my kitchen looks like all the time. After I do the dishes and put stuff away, of course, I always have the Instapot out. We always leave this dish rack out. Information for the dish rack. So my sink is 15 inches wide, and this dish rack is collapsible. Woo, it's really great. But I never put it away because I do dishes all day long. I eat, I do dishes, I eat, I do dishes. So if you have a 15-inch sink, this would work perfect. It does fit inside. And I just bought this collapsible one because everyone else did and I thought I needed one. Unless you plan on putting this away after you do dishes, you really don't need a collapsible one. But it does fit in an RV sink very well. One thing I love about not having a residential stove, because again, I don't really cook, so I don't really care, is having this glass countertop, which makes a bigger counter space. So I have this stuff sitting here all the time, and then when I go buy apples and pears and bags of stuff, I just leave it all on here. And then when I do need to use the stove, I just take this stuff, move it to the table, or move it to the recliner. So what do I cook with? Well, one, the microwave. I love that. But two, come on over here. It's the Instapot. And the Instapot, okay, this is an Instapot right now. After I struggle with it, that's the Instapot. Now, after I learned how to cook with this, I was very scared at first. We got the normal pressure cooker where you can do stuff, but then we have Saute, which you can boil noodles. So since I started boiling noodles in here, I got rid of a big pot. And then everyone said the slow cooker didn't work good on an Instapot. Well, I tried it and it was fine. On a slow cooker, I had to use low, but on the Instapot, I have to use high, which is like low on a slow cooker. So we used that. I got rid of the slow cooker, got more room. Then I also steam a whole bunch of veggies. And then what my husband uses all the time, which I really love, we take this lid off and we put this lid on. Here, zoom on in. It becomes an air fryer. And we just use the air fryer setting, and then he can cook all his frozen finger foods like mozzarella sticks, chicken strips, french fries, and it's one machine, just 2 lids. This is the Instapot Duo Crisp 8-quart, extra large. And we got the 8-quart, that way, come back in here, this fryer basket would be big, and we didn't have to get another machine. So we can fit enough food for 2 people with 1 machine. And the only thing I really cook in here is chicken noodle soup on Instapot. The rest of the time, I'm making like hard-boiled eggs, egg bites, just small kind of snacks to eat. But we use it daily, so I'm never gonna take it off the kitchen counter. And when the steam comes up, I actually have this underneath an air vent on the ceiling. That way the steam will go right out. Now let me show my little favorite kitchen fan. So this is a USB or battery operated fan, and we have a USB plug down here. And we either use this to help blow air around or to dry the dishes. You just hit power, it goes higher. And then when we're not using it, we can set it down on this rack. And this rack is collapsible. It goes on the back side of the counter, like you can see. So on here we have baby wipes, which basically clean up like cat stuff. We have our extra Instapot lid, the fan. Over here we have our protein shake mix, a back massager, cat toys. This is a little cat land down here, and for treats. Above the stove we have reusable grocery bags and plastic silverware. And then we have our microwave. I use mine so I don't store anything in it. I don't really use the stove that much, so I do store all of my pans in there. And then underneath of the stove, I have my huge pan. This is the only pan that I use. I got rid of the other ones. If you like to cook, you're probably gonna need some more pans, but only thing I really cook in here, I brown meat, make bacon, and make fried eggs. I bought these 2 lids off Amazon. They're multi-purpose. This is the large one, then the small pot has the small one. This one fits on here, and it also fits on the Instapot, so that way I can get rid of the lids that came with these and have less things to carry. And then I also have this fold-up bucket, which is very convenient because it doesn't take up any storage space, and you can use it when you need to, and we do use this a lot. And then I have one of these to store extra grocery bags, and then I just have a little odds and ends for fasteners and command hooks. Up here we have extra storage, and what I want to show you up here are like these types of bins. They're very nice to get something with like a hole or a loop to pick it up, so that way we can put different things up here. Basically it's labeled. I have extra bathroom supplies, bug stuff, cleaning stuff, and then I have a couple different sizes of the take-alongs. Now over to the other side. For our storage up here where we also have more food. I really love these plastic rubbery bins. I'm going to link what I can find. They're not going to be the exact same ones of these, but they're really nice because for one they flex so you can shove them in, but you can also wipe them clean. It's not like a woven material where if you get crumbs in there, it's going to be hard to clean out and you're going to start getting bugs. So up here we have all of these types of bins. This is the cat area, so that's where the backpack is. You can see, oh, there goes a cat. You can see those videos. I'll link that video down below. So other things that we have more food, and then I have these hard ones too, which are nice. Again, I don't keep the food in here. I keep the food in the flexible ones. Okay, so I have a blender in here, which I probably can get rid of next time that we go to the storage. You're always purging your stuff, and I have a hand mixer. And this one I have our toaster oven. We do use this, and when we use it, we'll kind of make toast for a couple days in a row, leave it on the stove, and then we'll put it back in. So then we have Reflectix. This keeps it around 10 degrees cooler than the outside temperature, and we check this. We've never had any mold when we put the little tape in there. And it does get hot up here. We just bought Snickers for work. We keep that up on the loft, and that's our extra storage area. I have one more thing to show you in here. These little dehumidifiers are great for cupboards. We recharge these monthly on our monthly maintenance list, and it keeps the moisture out. So we have these in our cupboard, behind our TV, underneath our bed. underneath the RV. I think we have 8 or 9 of them total, and they work wonders. So it is yellow, come on in. It's yellow when it's dry, and when it gets wet, it turns this green color. So certain areas you can definitely tell what's wet and what's dry when we recharge these. Okay, a couple of random things I want to tell you about. This banana hanger, we love it. Just, it folds up out of the way if you don't want to use it, but it keeps your bananas nice and fresh. Then over here, we have the paper towel holder. It sticks up so you can move it around to different RVs. We also have our Instapot supplies back here. I bought a kit and then I only took the ones that I actually use. So we always use the veggie basket, things for making the egg bites, and the rest of the kit that I don't use, I just ditched because I'm never going to make a cheesecake or something. I love to eat it, but it takes way too much work. And next we have our command hooks for the broom and the Swiffer. I use a broom daily, so these just easily pop in and out. And so I want these out where I can find them. I don't want them hiding. And the last thing I highly suggest if you have room in your kitchen is do some kind of dry erase board. We have a lot of room, so this is our whole information center. We put emergency information for what campground we're at. We have our monthly maintenance to-do list. I'll link those videos down below if you want more information on that. And then the big thing here in the kitchen is we put what food that we need to eat, because if it's out of sight, out of mind, we don't eat it. And down here we put campground information so we can always find it. Don't worry about bringing too much stuff in the RV to start with. Once you're in the RV, you start using stuff, you'll see what you use and what you actually don't. You can purge what you don't need. You can bring back or go buy the items that you really do. And if you made it this far, I'm betting you want to see more videos like this to get ideas for your RV. We have an entire playlist, and you can watch those videos next by clicking on the video on your screen, or we'll have it down in the description as well. Remember, I linked all the items we have in our RV down in the description below, and if you have a question, feel free to leave us a comment. Enjoy researching about setting up your RV, and happy shopping!